If Paris is the city of love, then what's the city of hate? Adana, Turkey. Shooting at sun because it's too hot is such a common event that it has a different code than normal shooting/gun violence. Texans and Floridians, write that down. Write that down. For real, laughed out loud. Thank you. Fresno, California. I think it should be renamed D-City. Everyone here hating. Literally last night I'm at a light. 3 lanes. To my right a carload of girls roll their window down and they're yelling at the girl in the car to the right of them. What the F are you looking at, BH? I'm right here, BH. I'm right here. The F. You got me F'd up, BH. Looking at me the F you think you are, BH. The BH says get a life. What's wrong with you? I wasn't even looking at you. Then they both race off as the light turns green, still yelling S down the street. You can't even look in someone's general direction here. That's just like one of a million exchanges I've seen like that. Everyone is so angry. Hi. Born and raised Fresno here. I actually wondered how far I had to go down to see this. Because I had no doubt it was here. Also born and raised Fresno here, and I was surprised. Not because it's wrong, but because we don't get talked about much. We don't talk about Fresno. We don't talk about Fresno, no. Scunthorpe. IDK, I'm not a biologist. There's always a CNS Seahawk. Good title for a movie, The Sea of Scunthorpe. Or a punk band, Nemescanthorpe CS apostrophe. Naventa DPAV. Near Venice. It is said that people there plant beans with shotguns. In fact, the locals call the town Naventa Violenta, which translates into violent Naventa. Thanks for translating. Paris if you're not French. Nah, mate. Paris. If you're not Parisian. Even the French don't like the capital. True, everyone says that Parisians are mean, even Parisians. Brothers and sisters are natural enemies. Like Americans and Parisians. Or Englishmen and Parisians. Or Frenchmen and Parisians. Or Parisians and other Parisians. Arg. Damn Parisians, you ruined Paris. Disappointed at the lack of people understanding this reference. Maybe we are just too old now. Also Paris. This guy has been to Paris, lol. November 2018 I went to Paris. Every car was on fire. Enormous protests that were pretty violent. I have been to Paris a few times before. It's a cool place. But city of love. Not so sure, haha. I literally had a Paris police officer tell me that he doesn't speak English in perfect English while asking for directions. Then tell me to F off, he's on break smoking. Again. In perfect English. Paris is the city of hate. Edit. To clarify a little, one of the other 5 cops he was standing around smoking with must have told him off in French. Because after that he gave me directions in English. So he clearly did speak it. He was just being a D. The only 2 things in English I know is I don't speak English and this sentence describing how I don't speak English. You're kidding, right? Statistically speaking, it's Tijuana. There's literally been 1 murdered journalist there every week this year. It takes major balls to be a journalist or a politician in Mexico. A honest politician. Both. There are cartel wars. If you take bribes from one, you're the target for the other one. It's Paris. I work in a 4-star hotel there. Trust me, my hatred alone is enough. I used to work for a company that sent those people to you. I'm truly sorry. Philadelphia. While in the Navy, Canadian, doing some sightseeing during a stop on our way to PR, Rosie Roads, we were jumped by a group of teens. Not far from the Liberty Bell. The chase only ended when we were within sight of our ship. In all my world travels I have never been chased, like in the movies. I've been to some dodgy ports of call, but nothing compares to Philadelphia. I personally never had issues during port visits, but in Corfu, Greece, there were roving gangs of guys on scooters trying to start fights because the sailors were talking to their girlfriends. As an American, I always laugh when I think of motorcycle gangs riding Vespas. Paris, France. Philadelphia. I don't know why, but this just feels like the right answer based on experiences there. Gritty is just such a perfect mascot. Gritty was initially rejected by the people of Philadelphia, but then he threatened to kill the Pittsburgh Penguins and was accepted. Sleep with one eye open. But, apostrophe. I remember the day Gritty was revealed. It was like 10 in the morning and everyone in Philly was like, what the F is this S? Then he hit the rest of the world, who was also like, what the F is this S? And then by the end of the day, Philly was like, F you. He's ours. We really did adopt Gritty like that younger sibling nobody else can F with but us. Upvoting everyone who said Philadelphia before me. Voted America's #1 city to have a D-cell battery thrown at you for no reason. Go across the bridge to Camden and Philly will seem like Palo Alto. Free to enter. Pay a toll to leave. F Route 9 you don't pay to get in but you pay to get out. Slough. Mom. I've made a big mistake. I went to Slough. Solid Tom Scott reference. The city of hate is the streets of Paris, as well as the suburbs. Makes me think of the movie La Haine. Nick la police. Wiki wiki nu and reen de reen. Le whoop whoop. C'est les undi la police. C'est les undi la bite. Gary, Indiana. I think that's the city of despair. I think they are just using the word city very liberally here. Pit of despair. Then, don't even think about try hack. Cough, don't even think about Trina escape. Camden NJ. It's still not exactly Dubai, but it's a lot better than it was 20 years ago. Coming from a New Jerseyan. Ironton, Missouri, they have KKK meetings at the park on the weekends. I lived in Farmington for a few years and always drove through Ironton heading towards Piedmont. Sounds about right. Hello fellow Southern Missouri folks. Can confirm that Ironton is a racist s-hole. Johannesburg, South Africa has got to be a contender. The city was engineered according to apartheid principles and racist colonial influences. Best example so far. The others have some problems with poverty or crime, whereas Johannesburg is literally built on disgust for fellow humans. I have friends who emigrated from Joburg. Last year 3 guys followed one of their friends home, forced their way in, put her baby in the microwave, and threatened to turn it on if she didn't give them all her cash and valuables. That's why they moved from Joburg. Philly. My favorite thing about Philly was when, during the 2020 presidential campaign, Loud Dob suggested something along the lines of rounding up the boys and riding on down to Philly in order to put pressure on them. And Philly and its surrounding suburbs laughed uproariously. The city with the biggest F around and find out attitude. And suddenly the internet was filled with all these crazy stories of how Philly beheaded a friendly hitchhiking robot, or Buddha baby in Mets gear at a Phillies game, or threw snowballs at Santa Claus during an Eagles game, or how a rapper was maced by a fan while on stage. Last year a group of white nationalists tried to march in Philly and were so badly scared by the residents that they went running home. It's a little like having a Refine Bat's crazy girlfriend who is so loyal and psycho she'll try to stab anyone who talks s. You love her, but you kinda gotta be careful what you say. Edit. They threw snowballs long before they threw batteries. They also threw batteries. I'm old. Guys. Who the F goes to Philly with white nationalist s? That's like trying to raid the wasp nest. Reminds me of Billy Connelly talking about the failed terrorist attack on Glasgow. Wheeling. WV. The friendly city I've never met a more weirdly insular, strangely defensive community in my life. Dallas. TX used to be nicknamed the city of hate in reference to the assassination of JFK. That makes 2 of us that remember. Fresno. CA. This should be higher on the list. If you aren't angry when you get there, wait 5 minutes. Tijuana. Mexico has the most homicides per 100,000 people. Cape Town has the highest number of murders per year, so those 2 would probably be up at the top of the list. Philadelphia. Philadelphia, city of the brotherly shove. Harrison, Arkansas. This is a bull's claim. If you had been to Harrison, as I have, you would know that calling it a city is absolutely laughable. At best it's a podunk redneck-esque small town of hate. Ha. You had me going there. I was all well, I grew up near there, and it's absolo. Oh. Yeah, you're right. Hit the nail on the head. Honestly, I never found Paris to be the city of love. Architecturally it's beautiful, but the people tend to be awful and there are some pretty S-tie areas. If Paris is the city of love, can it not also be the city of hate equally? There's a thin line. Washington DC. Everyone you hate works there. Washington AC is much nicer. Stories there are still shocking though. Somebody LE5 this joke please. I don't keep up on current events. It has its positives and negatives. For sure. Comes in waves. Raccoon City. Number 1 city at trash recycling tough. Cairo. It's more pure chaos than hate. Philadelphia, PA. City of brotherly love? More like city of angrily shove from what I've seen and experienced. Brotherly love is accurate. Brothers can be the best of friends and the worst of enemies. New York City in the summer on trash day. I can smell this post. It's also Paris. There are literal armored vehicles on the streets of Paris right now.